All right. Chapter 2. I'm reading from my book. This is the first book in my series, Sibilus and the 7 Objects of Culture. All right, Chapter 2. The Key. Sibilus spent hours staring at the walls in her room while she tried to fall asleep at night. There was something concrete and bare about her father's mansion on Madison Avenue. It reeked of the essence of sterile lumber. Not even her childish wallpaper could cover up the dead feeling. There was no illusion of a kindred spirit anywhere inside of its imposing brick facade and dark wooden interior. Her bedroom window overlooked the courtyard out back, a stately sanctuary with cement footpaths that Sibilus had been forbidden to go into. Put the globe in the same compartment of your brain as the courtyard. Her father had winked at her. There's a big wink, see? You are lucky you get to look, but it is not for you to explore. It was a Saturday in early January, the darkest and coldest time in New York. She had not been outside all day and was longing to climb the rocks in Central Park. Her father had left her alone in the library, where she lay next to the globe, reading a book on arachnids. She was memorizing the anatomical parts, the 8 legs, the chelicera, the pulp, the spinneret, the abdomen, and the cephalothorax. Sibilus wished she could open the globe and see the charms on the inside. I should see it, she thought, and wrinkled her forehead. There can be no reason as to why not. Her father was a powerful man, but she had noticed the areas in which he could be careless. Oftentimes he left his blazer hanging in the closet upstairs by the library while they were downstairs at dinner. That night, while Sibilus was nibbling on the end of a green bean, she observed that her pale and drawn father didn't have it on. She'd already asked him why he wasn't eating anything, and he had already refused to answer. She excused herself from the table halfway through her meal and ran up the grand stairway as fast as she could. She went into the hallway by the library where the closet was and opened the door. There inside was a smoking jacket he sometimes wore, and next to it the blazer with the key in it. Sibilus stuck her hand in its front pocket, grasping around until her fingers came upon what she sought, the key to the globe. In her giddy excitement, she ran as fast as she could into the library. As she stood before the globe, an extreme focus came over her. She searched intently for an eyelet but could not find one. She let her fingers rest over a detailed design at the northern axis, seeking in futility to blurt out the 8 painted rays of a lightless, ink-spotted sun. Sibilus, dear. It was her father's voice behind her. What on earth are you doing? She did not turn around. She held the key tightly to her chest. Sibilus! She spun around to face him and blurted out, Show me what is inside. And turning back to the globe, she shouted, I just want to see the charms. I have the key. Sibilus, Sibilus! Her father walked over to her. Give that back to me. She held it closer to her chest. Will you show me where the lock is? I cannot find it. Vetiver sighed and took a step back. Okay, how about this? What is it, Dad? This is not an ordinary key, my dear girl. It does not work by fitting in a lock and turning it like a normal key does. How does it work then? I'm about to guess to that. Listening. There is an enchantment placed upon this globe. There is one magic word that holds the power to set free the spell that binds it to the key, keeping it locked shut. How about I allow you one chance to say what you think the word to undo it is with the key in your hand. If you guess right, well, I suppose it will open and you will get to see the charms on the inside. Sibilus pursed her lips. Ouch. She understood the nature of speculation and knew that the odds were not in her favor. She started to get angry. She felt scorned. But there are so many words. Yes, Sibilus, you will never get it right. So why don't you give up the key and let go of the needing to see? Oh, no, I won't give up. Her father rolled his eyes. I will give you 1 week to come up with your guess. We have a deal. She grimaced at her father. And by the way, here's a hint. Don't limit yourself to the English language while you are doing your research. They scowled at each other for what seemed like an eternity. Finally, her father broke the silence. This is why I hate having children. His daughter did not bat an eyelash. Okay. Oh, we'll keep going. All right, the word. This is the next part in chapter 2. Okay. The next day, her father's maid, Athena, took her in a taxi cab to meet her fencing coach. Sibilus wore the key on a gold chain her father had draped around her neck and fastened with a miniature padlock. She was meeting the 17-year-old Tara in a multi-level gymnasium that overlooked the East River. Sibilus walked up 6 flights of stairs to get to the cell where the matches were being held. While she watched Tara dance around and poke her opponents with a foil, she felt at a loss with where to go or who to confide in to figure out the magic word that would unlock the globe. Her coach came in 3rd place. Afterwards, Sibilus watched Tara talk with her friends and pack up her equipment. Earlier that day, she had tried to get Bob, her private tutor, to help her unravel the bewildering enchantment. She had told him the whole story, but Bob had not believed her. Great tale, Sibilus, but let us stick to the ancient Greek alphabet. She did not think she would try to enlist the help of any others, as she stared at her private tutor with the grave silence of a stone. She knew that she would probably have to give up or else solve alone the mystery of the key's occult locution. No human would help her now. No human would be able to help her now. All right, so January 25th, 1992, so that's a date. Yes, this takes place in 1992. 1 week later. Vetiver de Keur knew that his daughter Sibilus had no chance. He had unlocked the key from the padlock around her neck and told her to run upstairs. He would meet her by the globe. As he walked into his library, he found her standing before the charred geographical miniature. "I have been waiting for you." She glared at him briefly. "Okay, Sibilus, game almost over. Any guesses, or are you ready to fold?" There was a hint of impatience in her father's voice. She squinted at him, her eyes betraying the cold acceptance of her fury. She turned away from him and thought of the word that had been whispered to her the evening before in a most peculiar fashion. Sibilus then spoke it aloud, simply and strongly. "Co!" There's the word. "Co!" Her voice had no echo in her father's library, and for 1 minute she stared at the globe, desperately waiting for something to happen. When all of a sudden, Sibilus gasped in shock. She felt an uncomfortable crawling between her fingers. The key in her hand was transforming before her into a spider. When its metamorphosis was complete, the arachnid shot out a length of web to the top axis and slowly wove its pebbly body onto the ink-spotted sun. When it reached that demarcation of the northernmost pole, the globe opened with a faint screech, and out from within which began to emerge a strange and disembodied parade. A heavy cymbal crashed as it floated toward her ear, and an evening thundercloud came over and lingered by her forehead. A purple light flashed, and a tiny star hurled itself slowly like a reluctant tear past her cheek. A clump of moss stalled by her stomach, and a brown mushroom sprouted from her ear. Finally, a black beetle scuttled out onto the floor by her feet and began to crawl up her leg. Her father's impatience left him as his jaw dropped nearly to his chest. "Child, no! How could you have guessed? Who told you how to undo the binding spell?" Sibilus did not answer him. Hexagram 49 from the I Ching is the one to do it, the trick, but of course, a specific combination of the 2 trigrams, lake over fire, when uttered, is ko, the English translation of which. Vetiver's voice faltered as the shock left him, of which is revolution. Sibilus remained silent. Her father ran to her and grabbed her by the shoulders. It was the first time she had ever seen fear in the lines of his face. "Who told you? Who told you how to open the globe?" All right, that's the end of chapter 2. Thanks for checking in, guys. Tomorrow we'll do chapter 3. I'm going to get back into reading this because I want the recordings of it. All right, thank you for being here with me. Bye.